Hey, what's going on, people? It's your old pal CHH. 2022, it was actually a really good year for physical media, like when you really break it down and look at what we got. I wanted to go over some of my favorites of the year. Some of these are somewhat vanity picks, meaning you might argue, well, there's really not much new with that. But these are movies that mean a lot to me, and just, I think that they came out really good, quite frankly. So this is my list of the best horror physical media releases 2022, 4K and Blu-ray. So let's get right into it. One of the ones I want to start with right here is Dario Argento's Phenomena. This is the Arrow version, and I really loved this version. It was just stock full of special features. It was one hell of a release. I really loved it, and yeah. There's a lot of good stuff on this one. The picture quality was really good, and yeah, I thought it kicked ass. So this was a really cool one. There was also the Synapse version of this, but shout out to my buddy Kyle who got me the Arrow version, because he was like, dude, you gotta have Phenomena in 4K, because I wasn't planning on getting it, but he was like, no, like it looks really good, and he was right. So yeah, the Arrow Phenomena released. You can get the Synapse version if you want. There is a 2-disc 4K version of this coming out early next year. I'm going to see about getting a review copy of that for you guys to do a video on. But if you want to get a good edition, the Arrow editions are always... You can really never go wrong with the Arrow versions. So I give a lot of props to them. Let's talk about the Halloween movies. So we've got the Halloween 6, 7, and 8 releases we could talk about. So, I actually was pretty happy with these. When it comes to 6, what I loved that they did was they truly got 6 to look flawless. I mean, flawless on 4K with the producer's cut. But it actually made me a bigger fan. The reason I really want to talk about these was this release actually made me become a bigger fan of the theatrical cut as much as the producer's cut, because the A. Michael Lerner stuff was phenomenal in 4K. Like all those scenes, like with the red lighting and stuff, that ended up looking the coolest out of anything on the 4K. So the Halloween 6 4K ended up becoming a big champion for me. But in terms of the scans, for me, it was undeniably that the biggest scan upgrade was H2O. I thought this was the best one, the biggest upgrade, and just phenomenal. I was so happy with the H2O upgrade. I think it's the best out of the 3, too. I mean, this movie finally looks cinematic again, despite the flaws with the CGI mask and crap. This came out looking really good, and I'm super happy with it. So the H2O 4K, yeah. And even the Resurrection, I mean, the Resurrection 4K still is the best look that this movie's ever had. And how do you not include that on your list? Looks like somebody just like shoved something straight up his ass. But yeah, guys, I mean, I'm sure that those 4Ks for 6 through 8 will get a little bit cheaper if you're just been like, I don't want to spend the price that they wanted. I understand that. So I'd hang tight. I'm sure that those are going to get cheaper. And again, I've got this custom box set for all of them. So yeah. Next, possibly the best steelbook of the year. Got to give it up to Fright Night. The Fright Night steelbook was phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal. How do you not love that? And it was chock full of special features too. So I was super happy with the Fright Night steelbook. Yeah, I reviewed this too. If you want to go watch the individual review and get my thoughts that I remember more from when initially watching it, you can. But I was super thrilled with this release. I thought it just came out looking flawless and just so good. So yeah, the Fright Night steelbook was a home run. Possibly my favorite steelbook of the year. We got a little bit of Scream Factory coming up. You got to give it up to Alligator. One hell of a way to start 2022, getting us a new movie that a lot of people haven't seen or owned. And we got a big jump for Alligator straight to 4K. I love this movie. A Louis Teague film. Yeah, Alligator was great. And the 4K looked great. It wasn't the best I've ever seen, but just the fact that we finally got a new title like this, that was just a significant jump. You can't, yeah, you got to grab that one. One of them that I want to give up to as well was Funhouse. I thought this one looked way better than it had any business to. This was not a movie I was like, oh god, I can't wait to see that on 4K. But when I got it in, thanks again to my buddy Kyle, it ended up looking just damn good. I mean, just damn good. So I felt foolish that I never got this yet on 4K. The Funhouse was awesome. Really happy with that. And it's a Tobe Hooper classic. I'll go through these two quick because I don't want to. These are vanity picks. But I just want to give it up to Scream Factory for actually stepping up their Steelbook game better than they had any right to. Their Steelbooks are like phenomenal looking. Like, look at these two. How do you not love that? So they killed it with this, and I can't say enough good things about their Steelbook game. It's just top of the line. It's just phenomenal work. It actually made me want to get these. And then the backs look even better. So yeah, home run on their Steelbooks. I'm actually really happy. I'll probably grab the They Live one, because if you saw the picture of it, it looks fucking amazing. You know. Next up, guys, you got to give it up to the Tenebrae set. This Tenebrae set is phenomenal. I'm just trying to keep my little backdrop picture of Freddy going. I'm so cool. Yeah, the Dario Argento Tenebrae set from Synapse. Now, this one, I had to grab the Synapse version. You can get the Tenebrae set from Arrow as well, but I just thought that the artwork alone on this one from Synapse was a home run, and it's chock full of stuff. And with this one, you get the Unsane cut, which is the worst cut of this movie possible. But if you want it, you get it. And they gave you all kinds of cards and... oh, that's creepy looking. All kinds of cards and things like that. So they did a really good job on this release. This is certainly a prestige release of Tenebrae. You know, it's funny. I keep saying... I've said this before, but like, guys, this may be the very last time you could ever buy Tenebrae on physical media. I mean, where do you go from here? Where? I'd like to know. Where do you go from here? Unless 8K becomes a thing, which I don't even know if that's really a thing, because isn't 35mm film like naturally just 4K? Can you even upscale 4K? I don't know. I don't know the logistics behind that, but yeah, this was an amazing release, the Tenebrae set. I loved it to death. I will give it up to this. This was marquee titles for people, Child's Play 2 and 3. These came out really good. I actually thought that the picture quality for these were great, quite frankly, and I was really happy with it. There's good special features on here. And yeah, I mean, these are titles that people were begging for, and I think a lot of us thought like we were never going to get them, and we finally got Child's Play 2 and 3, not only from Scream Factory, but on 4K. So I just got these like this. I didn't get the super duper cool slip covers and all that, but I was happy because I love the artwork for these. So yeah, I mean, these are great, guys. I mean, I thought they looked good. There's a bunch of off-gassing, as we now know. It's funny, now that I've noticed that with those movies, I feel like I'm seeing it every time I get a movie now, that off-gassing. And of course, the best Scream Factory release this year. It's not even a question. Return of the Living Dead, the absolute best 4K release of the year, hands down. And I know I'm extremely biased because this is my all-time favorite movie. You can't top this. I mean, they just slaughtered it. They killed it. You got the mono soundtrack. We're still missing that song in there, but still the mono track sounds amazing. The 4K scan is breathtaking. The half corpse looks unreal in 4K. It's just insane. So yeah, I love this release. Absolutely fantastic. If you don't own this, like, shame on you. Like, you gotta get Return of the Living Dead. It's the greatest zombie film ever made. It's my all-time favorite horror film. I also want to give it up to Night of the Living Dead 4K from Criterion. I was happy with this. I really like this release. So yeah, I want to give it up to this release too. I thought this came out really good. I was a big fan of the 4K scan of this. It was better than the 4K scan Blu-ray. Not superbly better, but still better, and it's a prestige film. I guess you could call this a vanity pick for me, but like still, I was really happy with this. I love the fact that they put the movie just in this case and not those slip things that the Blu-rays came in, because they get so damaged. And yeah. All right, next we're up to the absolute greatest hits. These are the best releases of the year. Paranormal Activity box set. I absolutely loved this. So glad that Paramount is showing love to this series. One of my all-time favorite horror franchises, Paranormal Activity. But what's great is they gave you Unknown Dimension, this amazing documentary. So happy with that. Yeah, I loved this box set. I binged all the films this Halloween. This was the franchise that me and my wife binged. Last year we did Saw. This year was Paranormal Activity. And we had a more fun time watching the Paranormal Activity films. We love them. So I'm so glad that Paramount was like, yeah, we're going to show some love to Paranormal Activity and, you know, give it this proper box set that it deserves. So super happy with that. All right, next up from 101 Films, one of my all-time favorites of the year, Ghost Watch. I was in love with this movie. The Conjuring 2 clearly was inspired from this documentary, found footage style film, Ghost Watch. Very priced reasonably too. I think this was like $20, but Ghost Watch was a 10 out of 10. I loved it so much. Mr. Pipes is just a great character. I'd almost like to see more of Mr. Pipes one day, if we could. But yeah, I was really happy with this. I did a review on this as well. Go check that out. And if you're on the fence, just take my word for it. I mean, it's classic. It inspired so many directors and horror people, and it's evident because Ghost Watch was way ahead of its time. Next up, I want to shout out my buddy Kyle again for hooking me up with this. The Ghoulies 1 through 3 set. This ended up being one of my all-time favorite sets. I loved it so much. The picture quality was great on these. Ghoulies 3 looked great. Matthew Lillard's in Ghoulies 3. But yeah, these were great. These are all region. All you gotta do is swap the language back to English, and then you don't have to worry about subtitles being in the way if you don't want it. But this was really good. Oh, excuse me. This was really good. I think they're getting close to selling out. I remember after I reviewed it, people were like, oh, I'm going to grab that. I'm not taking credit for it getting close to selling out, but I know that a number of people had hit me up and said, hey, I'm going to grab that. So you might be able to find it still. If not, get the Umbrella for 1 and 2. I have it on good authority from a number of people that said, hey, I've got that set, and that's good too. You just don't have Ghoulies 3. But Ghoulies 3 is supposed to be coming out from Vestron, if my sources are correct. The number one release of the year, hands down, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 from Vinegar Syndrome. This is like undeniably amazing. They killed it. I mean, they killed it. The artwork on this release is insane. The slipcover inside has the Breakfast Club and then the original poster that Toby had commissioned. The release itself, you can reverse the art to have the classic. And what's great is just like the whole second disc is nothing but new special features. Absolutely amazing. I'm so glad that Vinegar Syndrome got their hands on Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. They killed it. It's undeniably the best release of the year for me. I loved it so much. They absolutely killed it. This is a release that it was a little pricey, but like you see the money. You absolutely see the money spent in producing this. So, and the 4K looked great. I was really happy with this. Without question, my favorite release of the year is Vinegar Syndrome's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. So that's a lot of horror physical media releases I was happy with this year, guys. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Honorable mention is the Scream 2 4K, because that looked really good. And things like that. Let me know your favorite physical media releases of the year. Let's see how 2023 shapes up. I think it's going to be a good year for horror. We'll see. Physical media release-wise, there's a lot of stuff on the pike that I know is supposed to happen. Guys, I keep hearing about Trick or Treat for Vestron, so just hang tight. I bet you that's going to happen. I think this will be the year. It may not be till Halloween, but it's going to be the year. Let me know your favorites, guys. Thank you for watching this video. God bless. See y'all. I want to say thanks to all my amazing Patreon supporters who make Planet CHH possible. For behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and more, you can subscribe for as little as $1 a month.